Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast, brought to you by ringside.com. If you go to ringside.com/podcast, you too can get 40% off selected brands and items on the site. Rumors going around in the boxing business, and who better to have for the rumor mill than milling himself around, Rick Glaser. Rick, welcome to the podcast again.
Oh, buddy, how you doing tonight?
Good,
Everything
man.
all well, George? Yeah,
It's always good.
everything's looking good. Spring's here. We got NASCAR going on. We got we got we got the camps in Florida, the baseball, and now the clock's changed an hour, and it snowed one time in the last 3 weeks here in Buffalo, so the spring is here.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a squall on Saturday, believe it or not. But up into the 60s today, and the rest of the week going to be in the mid 60s. So I think we're out of the woods, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you never know. In Northeast PA, kind of hit you with one, out of left field every now and then.
Yeah, no question. Same here in Buffalo. Between the lake effect snow and regular snow, we're the king of snow. What the hell,
Yeah, king of snow. Well, things are pretty much heating up now a little bit as we speak about the weather warming up. Last time we spoke a little bit, it was Canelo leaving PBC. Now, evidently, he's got a one-off here with Jaime Munguia set for May 4th weekend. Rick, how'd that come together, and what do you know about it?
Well, he left on a Sunday and returned the following Saturday. He went to his zone to make a deal with the zone, and they turned it over to Eddie Hearn, and to put it mildly, Eddie fucked the deal up. He fucked the bag up. So he went back to his manager trainer Eddie Reynoso got a hold of the fine folks at PBC. Mm-hmm. And he ended up going back, but instead of the second fight of a 3-fight deal, now it's a one-off fight. He's a free agent as soon as his fight's over, and that's the end of that. And we'll see what he does from there. You know what? A lot of people are discounting Munguia. They think that what's his name is way too good and all this other stuff. Canelo is, but I see a lot of slippage in Canelo, and I don't mean slippage like he's shot, but just he's not what he was. He's more methodical than he's ever been, and he's not as fast as he was. He doesn't get out of the way as much. And I look to me, this is a really, really, really good fight. Now, I'm not saying Canelo's going to lose. Don't get me wrong, but this is a real fight. This is a real fight. They're both going to be marked up after this fight. Munguia gets hit with everything. It looks like he pleads to get hit. And the other guy is a really good counter puncher and real good body puncher. And I think it's going to be a very, very, very entertaining fight. I think they're both going to have their moments in the fight. I believe that Canelo will win a decision, but I think it's going to be an exciting fight where, I think that you're going to say after the fight, oh, Canelo did win, but it was a good fight. One of those type of deals where a guy who won, but it was still a damn good fight. I think it's going to be one of those type of fights. It may even be closer to that. Might be like, oh my God, who did win this fight? I don't know, but it's going to be a fight. Believe me. Munguia's got big balls. He's got balls down to his ankles. He gives 1,000% of himself. He'll be in great shape. It's a career opportunity for him. It could be a defining moment in his career. Now, funny thing about a guy like Munguia is he's such a good action fighter, and it's so exciting to watch that even if he loses and he gives 1,000% of himself, which he will, he'll be just as popular when the fight's over and more people have eyeballs on him and say, oh, I want to see him again. So I think it's a win-win-win situation for Munguia, even if he loses the fight. I think it's a win-win situation. I think it was like when Canelo fought Floyd when he was a real young kid, and nobody really gave much of a chance. And he did real well in the fight, lost a decision, and he became much more popular after that. So I think the same thing's going to happen here.
Well, let me go back to your point there with Canelo leaving and then coming back. He leaves. gets into an argument with Eddie Hearn, messes up the whole thing.
Well, the manager got in the argument actually.
Management, that's what I
Right,
mean. So why,
right. Eddie Reynoso.
why wouldn't at this point Canelo's going back with hat in hand, because who's paying $35 million? I mean,
Well, they paid him 37. They paid him 37 million actually.
So, well, that begs the question then: how'd they come up with this money if they weren't going to pay him the 35? Was it just based on the fight with Charlo?
Well, let's put it this way to you: when he left, they were supposed to come up with an escrow for the money that he's owed for the fight, the original 35 million, and they couldn't come up with it, so he left.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then he comes back to, I don't know where that money came from. But now, not only is Amazon involved, okay, what's his name is involved too, the Zone. So now that the Zone's involved, it changes the dynamics a lot of the finances and all that stuff. So I don't know what was done behind the scenes. I can only tell you that from a gut feeling, my gut feeling is that the Zone guaranteed Munguia and Golden Boy, which is Munguia's promoter, because they're a co-promoter of the fight. I probably guaranteed them their money, because they'll have their own pay-per-view revenues to guarantee the money. So I could see that happening. Who guaranteed the other side? I don't think Amazon did, because they've had no financial input in this whole thing and this whole deal. So I don't know if they did or not. I don't think they did. I don't see all of a sudden them becoming benevolent and saying, "Oh yeah, we're just going to come up with this 35 million or now 37 million to fight Munguia." Remember, the deal was to fight Charlo, and Charlo wasn't saleable, so they got probably another 2 million to fight Munguia, which is a lot tougher fight than Charlo is at this point.
Right.
So
do you think
there's a lot of you have a great question that I don't have an answer for, but my experience tells me certain things, and my experience tells me that I believe that the Zone guaranteed the money to Golden Boy and to Munguia, that side. And I don't know. Now you can purchase what they call surety bonds and stuff like that, which is a form of insurance to guarantee the money. Maybe they did that. I don't know what they did. That I can't tell you. But I do know that was a big issue the first time around, the $35 million escrow, and they didn't have it. So I don't know where they're at. I don't know what made them come back. I don't know. Maybe there is no there's just a guarantee. There's no escrow now, and that's why Canelo's now the lead promoter of the event. That could be that reason too. I don't know.
I think I don't know. There has to be someone. There's got to be guaranteed somewhere that
maybe there could be a guarantee. No, there could be a guarantee of the purse, but he was demanding not only a guarantee, he was demanding the guarantee in an escrow account. Maybe now there is no escrow. He's listed as the lead promoter now. It's the whole dynamics of the thing changed. It's no longer a 3-fight deal, and this is a second fight. It's now a deal where, like we said, it's a one-off. So this is it. One shot. The PBC's got one shot at the apple to make any money. That doesn't mean he won't return to PBC.
Yeah.
It's just that they have nothing contractually at this point.
If I was Canelo, I would do one-offs all the time now till the end of my career. I wouldn't want to be tied down to one guy. I would do one-offs.
Well, you can do multi-fight deals if somebody's got the fighters in place to fight you, and the guarantees. They had guys fighting them that couldn't draw flies and they couldn't pay them. Remember when this deal was made, they were with Showtime. So Showtime was probably guaranteeing the money at that point in time. Mm-hmm. So the dynamics changed when Showtime left boxing. That I'll tell you.
Yes, that really put a blow into that. That actually they put a blow into for that business model itself.
Absolutely no question.
After that,
no question.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Over last Friday, obviously the big heavyweight fight. What was your thoughts on that? And where does Anthony Joshua go from here?
I think Anthony Joshua waits to see who wins the fight. If Fury wins, that would be the biggest fight of all time, Fury and Joshua, if Fury beats Usyk. Now, if Fury doesn't beat Usyk, believe it or not, Fury versus Joshua is still a huge fight.
I think it's still bigger. Yeah, it's still bigger.
Right, it's still bigger than Usyk. Right, right. Because you can't sell Usyk Joshua 3 after the first 2 fights. Can't sell it. So I still think that no matter who wins, with Joshua Usyk, it's still going to be the biggest fight for Joshua right now. I just see that. I mean, Fury and him is like, if it's not for the World Heavyweight Championship because Fury loses, then it's for the, I don't know, you can call it what you want, the UK Heavyweight Championship, whatever, but it's still a huge, huge, huge fight, no matter what way you cut it. It just gets bigger if it's bigger if Fury wins than if he loses. But if he loses, it's still huge.
Also, I would say coming out of this weekend, there was a couple things that happened. Obviously, as we jump a little bit forward, let's take the Anthony Joshua victory as to what it is. 0-2 fighter. I mean, I think they jumped on the bandwagon a little bit, and Anthony Joshua blew him out. Now, Tyson Fury and Usyk have a rematch clause. Unless someone blows one of them out, they're gonna go for a rematch.
Right.
I mean, so that means that title's
gonna. By the way, that's a fight nobody's gonna blow anybody out in.
Right.
They're not capable. They're not capable. Right.
Now that's gonna tie it up a little bit. It's gonna tie it up a little bit until at least next year. If they decide, I mean, I would think if you could make that kind of money, you'd go for a rematch anyway. It makes no sense, because no one wants to see Tyson Fury against Usyk. Really, this is just for all it is for a title fight. Because if Tyson wins, fine, we get what we want. But if Usyk wins, Jesus, we got to go back to what are you going to do here? So either way, they got to get Tyson and AJ together somehow. They get that together. It could be a huge fight. Well, after that's put aside, news came out this weekend of 2 potential fights. One, I would assume, is signed. The other one is down the road. Real or not, I don't know. I've spoken to the Texas State Athletic Commission. They've told me they have not applied for the license yet or set the rules in place. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. What do you know about this?
It's a farce. That's what I know about it. I mean, it's not a fight. It's an exhibition, and let's call it what it is. It's a money grab by both participants. It's supposedly going to be not on pay-per-view. It's going to be available to Netflix subscribers only. So they'll get a lot of signups for it. It's just a farce. It's just using boxing to facilitate, greed. That's all it is, really. I mean, it's a shame, but Tyson hasn't fought in 19 years. And when he fought the last 2 fights, he was knocked out by journeyman fighters. So yeah,
58.
He'll be 58 by the time he gets in the ring. Correct. He's at the end of June. He turns 58. No commission's going to allow this to be a fight. It'd be barely will commission allow it to be an exhibition. Well, Texas is very liberal in their boxing things to make things happen, so it'll happen there, but it won't be a fight. It'll be an exhibition. There's no way it could be a fight.
The casuals are, inundating me with who's going to win. Who's going to win? I'm going to tell you this: if it was a legit fight, I think Jake Paul does some damage. It's because he's just younger. I mean, he's
also very small. He only weighs like 185, 90 pounds. So I don't know how much damage he'd do.
I think
Mike doesn't have any legs anymore. You can see that in some of those training videos. His legs are shaky. And, it is what it is. It's an exhibition. It's going to be an exhibition. If it's any more than that, I mean, I'd have to question the validity of the Texas Boxing Commission, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the other fight that came through, which I thought would be a little more serious and one that's actually a little more dangerous in my eyes. Conor Ben, Manny Pacquiao, they had a big standoff in Saudi. I saw Pacquiao hitting the bags, and he didn't look particularly good. They said he did, but I didn't think he looked particularly good.
Well,
Is that
let
a
me
fight
say this
you
to
think
you.
is gonna come
That,
down?
I have no interest in that. Another freak show, but Connor
But is that
Bennett
gonna
has
be your
looked
team?
terrible in his 2 fights back since he was caught on reputedly we caught on steroids.
Mhm.
And since then he hasn't looked good in either fight. So we'll see what happens. But you know, it's a fight boxing doesn't need to see. That'll be on pay-per-view, and it's just another money grab. And I wish people would stop with money grabs. You know,
Uh,
we need more real fights like Fury and Usyk,
mhm,
Joshua and Fury. Hopefully, we need more real fights instead of this bullshit.
mhm. And do you think at this point it's just gonna when the Saudis get involved in that? Do you think that they want these big names over there? Do you think they're fighting in Saudi? Do you think because they brought a book?
There's no question about it. They're fighting in Saudi.
Okay.
Anybody thinks they're fighting anywhere else can get it out of their head.
Now that leads us to the best pound for pound fighter in the world today, right now, Bud Crawford. What is his plans? Is it Chris Eubank or is it different?
It looks like it's going to be Chris Eubank Jr. And for everybody that's a casual or doesn't know good English, it is not Chris Eubanks. It's Chris Eubank. And you said it Eubank. You said it properly,
Yeah.
George. But so many people say Eubanks. It's not Eubanks. It's Eubank.
Well, I
And
knew his father
and
was a
I'm wore out. And I'm wore out from it, to be honest with you. So in the
this guy's a
meantime,
good
that's a good solid fight. Now the reason why Crawford wants to move up to 160 to fight is not to fight a 160-pound champion. He wants to be able to fight Canelo and have credibility, or go down and fight Tim Tszyu, where he's only 6 pounds over the weight at 160, the 154-pound weight limit. So he had no problem shedding back down to get back down to 154 to fight Tim Tszyu if there's no Canelo fight. So it's like a neuter weight for Crawford. You know what I mean? It's right in between, and it's a good place to be for him.
Yeah, and I think he'll do very well against
He
Eubank.
will. His IQ is so high. He's left-handed. He's fast. He's accurate. He's a great counter puncher. He's powerful. It doesn't matter what weight class he's in. He's the real deal. He knows how to fight. His ring IQ is off the charts, and he'll do just fine no matter who he fights. And if he
And
fights Canelo, he may or may not win, but he won't embarrass himself. He'll be in there throwing
no,
punches and giving 1,000% of himself. He's a natural born fighter, the guy.
absolutely, absolutely. I agree 100%. And my last question before we wrap this up too, and again, I thank you for jumping on here a little late in the day, but this whole drama going on with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Does Ryan Garcia make it to April 20th?
Listen, George, I fancy myself as a old school boxing guy, and I've been in the business 33 years. I have really good accomplishments and credentials. But now you're getting in the psychological part of things. That I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and it's an area that I'm not too familiar with. But from all the wacky shit he's been saying and everything else, I mean, I just don't know. It's a mystery to me what happens. I know I will be there on April 20th.
Mhm.
Um, if it happens, because I do business with Golden Boy. I'm not going to their show this week because I have a social commitment this weekend with my wife. But basically speaking, is that I hope he makes it to the ring. The odds in the fight were he was a 5-1 underdog. In the last 48 hours, they jumped up to 10-1. So it beat a 10-1 underdog. They doubled in the last 48 hours. So and that when I say 48, that was since Sunday night. And just the way it is. I mean, people are losing confidence in the guy. Um, I don't know what to make of the whole thing. I don't know if it was an act. He's really gonzo. Is he schizophrenic? I don't know what he is, but I don't know anything about that part of the world, that part of society, but I do know that, if he was right, mentally right, he would probably lose a decision, but there is an avenue where he can win is by knockout, because he can punch with both hands, left hook and right hand. He can punch. He's quick, and he can win. Okay, but if he's not, he can't win by decision. That he won't do. That Haney will win a decision. Ryan can win by knockout. He's capable, but he's got to be in the right state of mind. He's got to be training 1,000%. He can't be doing this, happy horse shit and being a clown. You know what I mean? And the best way I know how to say this is that he, all the oars aren't in the water.
Right.
The elevator ain't going to the top. And I mean, the guy's is the guy crying out for help. I don't know what the guy's doing, but none of it's good. Let's put it that way to you.
Well, that would be my concern, because now you're dealing with mental health, and now you're in the boxing game. I don't like it. I think there's something seriously wrong there. He's not. I don't think.
Right.
I think it's something there. He's looking for something, and I don't particularly think this is going to end well at all. But needless to say, this is the sport boxing. That's what we enjoy, and that's what we're in.
Right. And they say NASCAR is reality at 200 mile an hour on Sunday afternoon. Boxing's reality on Saturday night. And, the ring don't lie.
No.
And the ring and time waits for no one. So let's see what happens April 20th. Hopefully it happens. It correlates with my birthday. I'll have a birthday the 17th of April. And I'm going to go to New York and celebrate with my wife and have a good time and stuff like that. But I hope I'm able to watch Ryan on that Saturday night with Devin Haney. Let's hope it happens. I mean, in place they have a backup in Arnold Barboza just in case shit happens. And they got to pull out Ryan. So they have a backup in place to give Haney a fight. And Arnold's the number one contender and undefeated, the WBO number one contender. So he's no joke himself. He's a very, very talented fighter. So he's no joke himself. So it's all good, in a way that, if I don't mean good, but there's a lot of preventative stuff in place that could happen if there is a problem. So hopefully the night won't go wasted. Now, I don't think it'll be on pay-per-view once it's determined that if Ryan can't fight and Devin does fight, I don't think it's going to be on pay-per-view. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me, but I believe it's not going to be on pay-per-view without Ryan. So we'll see.
Well, it'll be your birthday weekend. You'll have a good time. If I can get down there, I will try to get down there. I'll bring you a bag of
George. No, George, don't bring any bagels. Enough bagels in New York City. So to go from New York City to California, dot the highway with, for Christ's sakes.
Why would you bring
New York City's where bagels started? Oh my God, they're in every corner in New York.
I know. But still, as always, Rick, it's always a pleasure to have you on with the best insider news and the ins and outs of the boxing business side too. That's why it's always great to have you on, Rick.
Thanks, George, for having me. And listen, George, anytime you want me on, I'll be on. You ask good questions. You got a nice little show going on, and it's ever improving. And look to be on again at your convenience. Okay.
All right, man. We'll have you on again.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Rick.
Good night.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.